Hello, today we are going to study the algorithm of converting a fractional number to a decimal number. And what should we pay attention to here? Let's start with an example. So, a fractional number is 6/10. We need to write this fractional number as a decimal fraction. Why is this done? The point is that arithmetic operations involving decimals. Fractions are much easier to perform than ordinary fractions. Therefore, we need to learn how to convert a fractional number into a decimal fraction. So how do we do this? So we need to convert a fractional number to 6/10 and write it as a decimal fraction. How do we do it? First of all, let's remember that a decimal fraction is written using numbers in which the whole part is separated from the fractional part by a period. Therefore, we must first write down the whole part. Notice, what is the whole part equal to in this record? But there is no integer part here, so it's 0 integers. And in decimal notation, you have to be sure to write 0 integers. That's why I write 0 whole. We're separating the whole part from the fractional part. That's why I put our period. Now we need to write down the fractional part. The number of digits that come after the dot is directly related to the denominator. That is the number of zeros that are written in the denominator. We have 1 0 in the denominator. Hence, in our decimal notation, there should be only one digit after the dot. But we do have one digit, which is 6, so I write 0.6, 6/10. As you can see, nothing complicated. Let's take another example. 1 whole 32 hundredths. We follow the same steps to write this fractional number as a decimal. So first we write down the whole part, and the whole part equals 1. I write 1 whole. To signify that it's exactly 1 whole, I put our dot. And then after the dot, I have to write how many digits. Notice how many zeros I have in the denominator. It's 2 zeros, therefore after the decimal point I must write down 2 digits. And I do have 2 digits in the numerator. So I'm writing 32 hundredths. Let's complicate the example a little bit. So 2 whole 2 hundredths. So we can easily write down the whole part. That's 2 integers. I write down 2 integers. To show that it's an integer part, I put a period. Now, after the comma, I have to write 2 signs. That is 1 sign and a second sign, but I only have 1 digit in the numerator. So how am I supposed to write down this decimal fraction? If I'm missing a digit in the numerator, I write 0 first. And then I write our numerator. That makes 2.2 hundredths. Another example. 31 point. Let's take the thousands. And again, let's try to write it down as a decimal number. So, 31 whole. 31 whole. Let's put a dot. And now we count the number of zeros in the denominator. So I should have 3 digits after our dot, but I only have 1 sign in the numerator. So in order to equalize the number of zeros, I add a 0, 0, 8, and the result is 31 whole 8 thousandths. Another fractional number we'll write down as a decimal number. So that's 37 whole 526 thousandths. First we write down the whole part. That's 37 whole ones. I write 37. And separate the whole part with our dot. Now I count the number of zeros. That's 3 zeros. Therefore, I must write 3 signs after our dot. Pay attention to the numerator. I have 3 digits in the numerator, 526. Therefore, 526. The result is the decimal notation of this number. It is 37 whole 526 thousandths. Today, in the lesson we learned how to convert a proper fraction into a decimal fraction. And we learned how to convert a mixed number into a decimal. And in the next lesson, we'll study the algorithm of converting an improper fraction into a decimal fraction. That's all for today. Goodbye. See you again.